Hey, Game Changers, Barry, William, Maglidity, back for another video. Today I want to talk about all things leadership. And so you think that you're a good leader. Are you actively working on your culture? I've got a few notes here I'm going to refer to just because I wanted to make sure that I land the plane. This has been an interesting one for me because earlier this year we moved on operations manager, and we decided not to hire one for a while just to see what broke in business and just to see where we actually needed help. I think many times in business we throw talent and labor and money at problems without really understanding what the actual problems are. This is why so many people are growing businesses that aren't profitable, so many businesses that just don't succeed and don't make it past that 10-year mark. They talk about essentially, 4% of all businesses make it past 10 million, make it past 10 years, and only 4% make it past $1 million in revenue, which is just staggering. And recently we have been interviewing again to hire someone to come in as the integrator role, or essentially as the general manager, as a lot more people formerly know as. And I started to look at these candidates and what they could offer the business, and also to how our business is set up with our team and with our systems and processes, and started to kind of wonder, well, where is my time best spent in the business? If I have someone that comes in that can manage my team, that can grow revenue, that can grow clients, that can help deliver better results for our clients and keep building out our game-changing coaching programs, where do I fit in all of this? And one thing that I realized out of the last 6 months that I've made the biggest difference is around building culture and building a team. And I guess the importance of culture is, if you're just operating as a one-man band, like, you are the culture. But the moment you start to bring on team members, you really want to set the standard of what you're willing to accept and not accept within the organization, because whatever that seed is going to grow that plant. And so you can't plant a carrot seed and expect to get a strawberry bush. It just doesn't work like that. And business is the same. So if you're early on in business, you need to define what sort of culture you'd like to create, and make sure that you're planting that seed from the get-go. If you're later on in business, you already have a culture, yet possibly the culture that you have right now is not the culture that's best serving you, or best serving your business, or best serving your clients. And I want to, I guess, kind of talk about 7 reasons why focusing on building culture and building your leadership as the visionary, as a CEO, is super important. The first reason is it really defines the inner and external identity of your company. What does that mean? Well, when I started off any one of my businesses, people always bought me. They bought my personality, they bought my certainty. And yet what happened is, the moment that I took myself away from the front line, whether it was through advertising on Facebook ads or whether it was getting other salespeople to do the job, I noticed that things changed, because they were no longer buying me. They were buying them, or they were buying their perception of the message that was going out there. And this is where I started to notice there's a huge gap in culture. And to me, culture is almost like bottling the DNA of you as a business owner, and bottling the DNA of which you want the business to grow into, as I mentioned before. And so, it defines the internal values of the company, meaning that it defines the way that you hire and attract good talent, the way that you train and retain good talent, and the way that you operate as a business. There's no point going to someone and saying, you're late, don't do it again, or why you're late. It's better to go, hey, notice you're late this morning. How does this align with the values of the company, which is, take responsibility, or come from cause, or whatever the values are for your company. It's not about having some buzzwords up on the wall to say, hey, there's our core values. But it's actually how you go about hiring staff. Like, we always hire staff based on cultural fit first and skill set second. It's around how you remunerate staff, how you incentivize staff, how you acknowledge staff. How you also have those conversations when people are out of line is based on the values and principles of the company. Then we talk external identity, which is around how you position the marketplace. Like, if your market was to look at you right now externally, would they see the same culture? Would they see the same essence as what you see for the company, what your staff see for the company? A very good way of doing this is to go and interview your staff and say, hey, like individually, one-on-one, separate, like, what do you feel is the vision, the mission, and the values of our organization? What do you think we stand for? And get a pulse check on everyone in the organization, and even do it with some of your top clients. And that will start to show you how aligned you are and how defined your inner and external identity is of the company. And let me tell you one thing is that when you have this in place, the difference is feeling like you're in one of those long rowboats with everyone just doing their own thing, and the boat might be moving or it might be like staying still, it might be going in circles, versus everyone being in the boat rowing at the same time. If you've ever been to a regatta or anything, you notice that the oars always come up at the same time and they always hit the water at the same time, always come up at the same time, hit the water at the same time. And that's how that boat is able to get maximum momentum, and your business is no different. So number one is it defines the internal and external identity of the company. Number two is around living our values, is that, when you start off, the values often represent you as a business owner. Yet I think you'll agree with me that how you are right now is very different to how you were when you first started your business. And it's important that, you're going to go through challenges and struggles and setbacks in business. And if you have those core values defined and they're strong and they're alive in the business, it gives you something to fall back on when you as a business owner start to slip, which you will. There's been many times that I've fallen off the bandwagon as a business owner. I've been stressed out or overwhelmed, or I've had personal situations happening, and my team have been able to call me out, or I've been able to call myself out on being incongruent with the core values of the company. And so it helps for your alignment as a business owner, and it helps the team alignment as well. Something that we do is that every quarter we revisit the values as a team and ask, is this still who we are and how we choose to operate? The values act as a compass to let you know whether you're on the right track or the wrong track, whether you're on course to achieve your mission, being your BHAG, your 10-year goals, and your vision, being that intangible thing, that pie in the sky that you're going for. So the values act as a compass. And recently at our last quarterly event, we realized that the values that we've had as a company for the last 4 or 5 years are actually no longer aligned with who we are and how we are as a company now, which can happen. We've outgrown them. So we as a company sat down and redefined the values to a position where it excited us again. It got energy and inspiration back into the company, back into the culture, and back into what we were doing. So number two is living the core values and the importance of living core values. Number three is that having good leadership and good culture can actually transform employees into advocates. Think about it like this, right? You could run paid advertising or you as a business owner go to networking events, but imagine if your staff of 10 are so bought into what you do as an organization that everywhere they go, they talk about how amazing your company is, how amazing the results are you get for your clients, how happy your clients are, how happy they are, how amazing the boss is. Right, what's that going to do for your company long term is attract a lot more clients. It's going to attract more employees. If you've got employees that are good employees, typically likes surround likes. Likes attract likes. And so if you've got great employees, no doubt they know other people they've previously worked with. I know for us, our VA workforce in the Philippines, we recently just hired an appointment setter, and she was a top performer of a large real estate company in the US. And she came to us because one of the other employees has been with us for 12 months now, absolutely loves what we do, raves about what we do. And the moment an opportunity come up, she applied straight away as a top performer, and we got the top, 1% of talent. And so, having your employees act as advocates allows you to attract incredible talent and allows you to build an incredible business. We work with a lot of tradies, and the common complaint they all make when they first join up is they can't find good contractors, they can't find good tradies to work with them. And I said, well, that's okay. Like, how are you as a business? Like, are you as a business attracting good culture because you have good culture? Of course not. So the first thing we do is not writing a different job ad or running better interviews. The first thing we do is work on the company culture and sharing that message through social, sharing that message through their team. And sure enough, concreters that previously worked with concreters start to attract more concreters to this business, and your employees become advocates. So that's the third reason why it's so important to have good leadership and good cultural development within your business. Number four is helps to keep the best people I've got here. One of the most expensive costs we can have as business owners is to attract and retain good talent. It's not just the money you spend for them, but the money you spend training them, the money that they have in knowledge. And I remember Richard Branson, close, Richard Branson said one day, someone said, what happens if you train good, what happens if you train your staff and they leave? And he said, well, what happens if I train my staff, if I don't train my staff and they stay? He said, I'd much rather train my staff and them leave than have staff on board that aren't trained showing up for my clients, right? A bit of a flip. So, it's important to have this good culture and to provide ongoing training and opportunities for growth, because it will keep the best people. Tony Robbins talks about the 6 core needs that we have as a human being. And, so many organizations I've worked in said, oh, my staff have left because they've been offered more money. And I said, no, your staff have left because their core needs weren't met. They've just used the excuse of money because they can validate it and justify it to themselves, because they haven't, they're not sensory aware enough, or they don't have a deep enough connection with the fact that they feel that there's no certainty in their role, that there's no variety, or there's no journey or growth, there's no contribution. They don't feel significant in what they're doing. So, staff don't leave you for more money. Staff leave because their core values aren't being met. If you're, 10 grand a year different to somebody else, they'll come to you before they leave to say, hey, like, I've been offered this other job. I want to stay here, but it's offering a bit more money and I'm tight on cash. They'll have that conversation with you because they feel they can trust you. If they rock up and say, hey, I quit, and you go, why? And they say they've got more money up the road, it shows that you've lacked culture, you've lacked relationship, and you've lacked in your leadership with these staff members. So that's number 4, is helps you keep the best people. Number 5, so a well-functioning culture in your organization will help you with onboarding and retention of staff. So we spoke about this a bit. A good culture will help you with onboarding, because it won't just be you as a business owner that needs to onboard them. You'll have your team actively wanting to bring them in and help them get up to speed quickly and be excited by them being around. Help retain them. I know for us, we've had challenges at times with staff members, and our other staff members have brought it to my attention because they obviously, want the business to thrive and want the business to strive. So, they help with onboarding the staff members. They also help with letting me know when we need to let people go. There's been a number of times my staff have come to me and said, hey, Barry, we actually don't think this person's the right fit for our company, right? So you want to hear that your staff are talking about it as their company, as their culture, as their vision, as their values, because that lets you know through their language that they actually bought into it. Whereas they say, oh, hey, Barry, we don't think that they're a good fit for your business, all right? That shows that staff member hasn't yet fully bought into the values and doesn't see the values and the vision and mission as their own, which is really, really important. So it helps with onboarding and retention. Next one, number 6, culture will transform your company into a team. So I just touched on that a little bit. It takes it from being very much a game where they're all just in it for themselves into a team where they're playing the team sport. Like, have you ever been to a football game or a soccer game where the team has absolutely flogged the other one? You notice there's a core difference. And that is a team that's won. They're not that they necessarily have better skill set, but they play better as a team. There's so many examples, and I remember reading Extreme Ownership one time, a book, and it's about culture. And they used an example around a team that they did this drill exercise in the military, and this team was killing it. And so they actually took the leader of that team, and they swapped out the leader of that team with the leader of the worst performing team. Now, he initially bitched, moaned and groaned, and the other leader was like blaming his team for not doing very well. But what happened is the leader that was blaming his team for not doing very well, that got placed with a high performing team, within 1 or 2 drills, that team was the lowest performing team. And the leader that was with the highest performing team, that got put with the lowest performing team, that had a bit of a whinge, right, within 1 or 2 drills was the top performing team. And it showed an example around how your team follow your leadership and how they show up resonating and representing you as a leader. So, having a strong culture and working your leadership skills and working on building the culture within your company will help you guys not have a business full of individuals, but have a high-performing team. And I think it was Peter Drucker that said that culture outperforms strategy any day of the week. Lastly, number 7 is it impacts employees' performance and well-being. So having strong culture and working on your leadership significantly affects the performance and well-being of your team. As I mentioned, Peter Drucker said that culture outperforms strategy for breakfast any day of the week. And so, you can have the best strategy in the world, but if your team is not playing as a team, they're not operating as a team, your business won't be growing as fast, as profitably, as effectively as what it could through just having great culture, but not necessarily the best strategy. If you've got a great culture in place and employees that are bought into the vision, mission, values, many heads are better than one. They will find ways to achieve your objective, even if it's outside of the scope of the strategy you've laid down, because they've bought into the vision, mission, values, and they treat it as their own. So that's essentially the 7 reasons why I feel that it's important to be working on your culture and working your leadership as the CEO. If you're a business with 1 or 2 employees right now, it's less important than if you're a business that have 5, 10, 20, 40, even 50 employees. Yet even if you are a business that has 1 or 2 employees, I still recommend that you go through a process of creating a vision, mission, values, and cultural statement, because it's going to help you dramatically move forwards, employ more staff, and also really get the best out of the ones that you have as well. So that's it for me today, guys. If you are a business right now and you're wanting to work on that, we have 2 programs within the Game Changers that significantly help you to build a successful, scalable, and profitable business that works without you. The first program we have is Opulence, and it really benefits businesses that are doing at least $250,000 to $300,000 a year, up to around the $1.5 to $2 million mark. That's the best fit for you as a business owner, where we do go through and we work on everything from your mindset to how you generate leads, how you make sales, how you build systems and processes, how you hire the right team members, how you manage your money and smooth out the lumpy cash flow and everything else. The second program we have, the Boardroom, is for business owners that are doing at least $2 million a year, up to $20 million a year. And it's businesses that are wanting to really strive for that 8 figures. The coach that runs that's been coaching for more than 28 years and has a huge amount of skill set on helping companies simplify the complexity, really build high-performing teams and cultures, set up systems and processes and procedures to scale to multiple 8 figures. So if you're a business owner right now that's doing at least $250,000 a year and you want to work out whether or not the Game Changers might be a fit for you, and if we can help you, I recommend you click on the link below, book a 15-minute game plan application call where we can take you through the process to see if and how we might be able to help you. If not, look forward to seeing you in the next video. My name is Barry William Magladidi, and make sure you also check out the Comeback Game podcast, where I interview some of the world's most successful business owners and entrepreneurs to understand the challenges and adversities they've been through, how they've solved them, how they've overcome them, and how they've built a life full of purpose, passion, and profitability. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much.